Residents in districts that are currently under lockdown who participated in the mass COVID-19 testing say this is an opportunity for them to step up their efforts in the fight against the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. It's expected that there will be more mass testing after 10 days of lockdown to establish whether or not the lockdown was effective. The mass testing is taking place in designated areas such as cell offices, churches, and other public places. Health authorities say the aim is to assess the status of the pandemic, and they are testing people from 18 years old as selected by local authorities in collaboration with health authorities. The goal is to test 15% of residents of each cell. Some of those that participated appreciate the opportunity to get to know their status. I'm glad that I get to be tested today. Most times it's challenging to get the means to go for a test. Fortunately, I've tested negative and I've been told to continue to protect myself. Just because I am negative doesn't mean I am safe forever. Testing enables us to know our status and encourages us to continue protecting ourselves if negative, and we are able to encourage the others to do so as well. These residents find that no one should be deprived of the opportunity to know their status because the pandemic has intensified. COVID-19 doesn't discriminate age or social status. Everyone can get infected with the virus, whether young or old. The cell leaders encouraged us to go for testing. We are 30 people in the establishment where I stay, but I'm the only one that came to test, and I'm going to tell the rest to come as well and get tested. Health Minister Dr. Daniel Ngamije says the ongoing mass testing across cells will help determine the status of the pandemic amongst the population.
Okay, at the end of this lockdown, we proceed again with testing, especially in these most affected district and the city of Kigali, so that we can assess the impact of the lockdown. So it's planned as with the same size of sample, 15% of household will test in those households. This is what we plan. We want to assess the impact of the lockdown, and we expect that it will be a good impact in terms of reduction of incidence. Randomize household like we did this round, because you want, if you want to proceed to inform, if you can't make an exhaustive testing for each one, then you should comply with the method for sampling. So we randomize again household, but in each village. At the end, it will give us the sense of the size, it will give us the sense of the incidence or the prevalence of this pandemic in those cells and of course sectors.
This activity is being overseen by different authorities. The Minister of Local Government, Gatabazi JMV, explains the criteria being followed. We wouldn't wish for anyone to be left out, but because we can't do this at once in a short time, so selections are being made randomly from different families, those to be tested. The other thing is that there are people who can afford to go for testing by themselves, and we ask and encourage them to do so, if possible every week, and know their status without necessarily waiting to be tested when they have symptoms or are sick. The Ministry of Health says when someone tests positive, all members in that family will have to be tested as well. The mass testing that commenced this Saturday will continue on Sunday, and it's expected that there will be more mass testing after 10 days to establish whether or not the lockdown was effective.